Now, presentation mode, yeah. Now, what I'm going to talk about takes us back to the keynote speeches yesterday by Jose and today by Mike. Next one. Okay. Now, you see, the real challenge for a safe working world, in my opinion, is that safety is disadvantaged from the start, because safety is not the goal. It's a restriction. Yeah, the drawing shows you what I mean. All of us, all humans, with very, very, very few exceptions, want to achieve. We want to do things. We want to have a career. We want to be the hero of the family, as we have heard in one of the presentations today. Hardly ever we think about safety. Be honest with yourself. If you stand in front, I'm talking about men now, in the morning to shave, have you ever put yourself the goal, today I want to be safe? Safety is not the goal, we are achievers. Otherwise, I would not need to listen to the Swiss radio every day recounting about 20 to 30 road accidents, which then cause traffic jams. None of them had safety as a goal. So it is a restriction, and if you go back to your formative years, how much did you like being restricted by your parents in your allowed action space? Now, to overcome this, there's a disadvantage. There are two recipes. One is systems, as we have heard from Milagros today. This automated driver system, technical systems that stop us from doing unsafe acts. And the other, as we have heard from Jose and Mike, is culture. Next, please.
You see it?
Now, yeah. Now, if we want to shape culture, a safety culture in a company, we have to pay attention to the two bullet points I mentioned here. For every team member, it doesn't depend on which hierarchical level of the two triangles we have seen this afternoon, somebody's hierarchy demonstrates importance. Unfortunately, a lot of times, safety in our companies is delegated to specialists, to the safety expert, to the, in German, the Sicherheitsfachkraft, to the safety uncle, as he or she is called, or the safety aunt. And sorry, workers or team members, rather, they have a very fine antenna to say which things are important. Line management, my superior, is important. The specialist is also important. And I'm evaluated by my boss, not by the staff. So the solution obviously must be every manager, whether it's the frontline manager or the CEO, must be a safety leader. Next. The real, now what has happened again? Now, next. Sorry, something. I don't know what's wrong. I have the first slide again. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, go back one. Go back one.
Number 4.
Yeah. Now, what's the problem really? When we say managers must be safety managers. If you want to create a culture, you have to run each of us individuals through 4 steps. First, we have to know something, the theory. We have to understand how to apply that theory to my practical workplace. We have to accept that the new way is better. And then we actually have to do it day after day. Remember, just an easy example, working at height. We have to know working at height starts at 1.8 meters. So that's theory. Now, to understand if I'm a truck driver, I have to understand, does that apply to me when I pull the tarpaulin over the load on the back of my truck? Usually that's between 2 meters and 2 meters 50 height. Is that already above this? Then I have to accept that fall protection is needed, although it's not easy. It slows me down. And finally, I have to do it day after day, although I didn't have an accident for 3 years in a row. So managers must help each individual in the company to know, to understand, to accept, and to do. But most managers cannot do that because they don't know. Nobody taught them ever. And because they don't know, they cannot coach me to understand, they cannot motivate me to accept, and they cannot mentor me whether I'm doing it. Why do managers, what can be done? Now, as Helmut has explained yesterday, one thing is to teach actual managers, those who are already managing people. My idea goes further than that. The last 3 or 4 years before the pandemic, when we had meetings internationally, whether in Bangkok, Singapore, Chile, etc., I inquired with the local universities, meaning the business schools and the engineering schools, whether they offer the future engineers and business MBAs anything about safety. The result was dismal. Very, very few. I tried, for example, in Bangkok and Singapore, about 6 institutions. Only one of them was, at least the dean of admission was interested in receiving me. So what do we think? Those young guys and girls, when they go out with their diploma in their backpack, within a few years or even months, they will be leading people. But they have never heard anything about safety. So the easiest way out is to delegate to the specialist, and then we are lost again. So next slide. We need to introduce the next generation of leaders early to safety. We need a curriculum everywhere in each business school and in each engineering school that has at least complies with the following objectives: to know why incidents happen, how to detect hazards and evaluate risk, Hiram, and how to design mitigating actions, the mitigating action concept. They need to understand why safety is important. And just a small parenthesis, it's not important because of ethics and morals. Naturally, theoretically, it's important because of ethics and morals, but who cares in real life? It's important because it goes to the essence of business, which means you have to keep contracts, and we make a contract with every worker to keep him or her safe. And finally, what's the role of managers? Now, how should we achieve that? Last slide. We need to work in the subgroup of the advisory council, and Olga, who chairs this subgroup, will be the next and final speaker. We need to prepare an outline of such a course. I have taken the 2- and 3-day courses, which I run at Holcim and at OC Oerlikon for the management group, starting with the CEO group and down to the frontline managers. I have taken that and changed it in a course for students. I have run that 3 times with the Indian Institute of Technology in Kharagpur. I've run it with the Universidade de Sao Paulo in Brazil, the mining school there once. And I've run it now 3-4 times at the University of Applied Science of Northwestern Switzerland. So I will take this outline of a course, and then I suggest that in this subgroup, which Olga chairs, we modify it so that's universally applicable. And then I would like to suggest that within ISA mining and maybe also ISA construction, we ask help from everybody listening today. Contact your former university, your all alumni of some important institution, go back there, talk to the relevant people, show them the outline of the course, and ask whether we cannot, through the help of you, run a first pilot course in each of those schools so that we have a chance that our future managers and leaders when they set step in the real world of work, they're already very much aware of the importance of safety and their own role to create a lasting and sustainable safety culture. Thank you very much.